8 years in a coma. And West Virginia's First Lady Rachel Warby gives up one of her duties. Those stories, sports, and weather next.
On the mean streets of New York City, someone is stalking lady cops.
This is a homicide.
Now, there's only one policewoman who can find the killer.
What are you, a dirty Harriet?
The only way to bait the trap is to make herself a target.
This time they picked on the wrong policewoman.
Angie Dickinson stars in Prime Target on NBC Sunday. NBC is the place to be.
Hi, this is Gary Sheets at Ramey Chrysler Plymouth Dodge at Claypool Hill, and we're having a year-end clearance sale like never before. Every car and truck in stock, new and used, has been discounted for year-end clearance. Our loss is your gain. Yes, you heard me right. Our loss is your gain. And now through December the 31st, we'll pay you sales tax, both here at Ramey's at Claypool Hill and in Tazewell. So if you're looking for a great deal, come and see the Ramey Automotive family.
To get a Super Bowl ring, I had to listen to this. To get a Super Bowl pin, I had to listen to this.
Your Hardee's Super Bowl combo and a free Super Bowl pin.
That's right, the complete set of NFL commemorative Super Bowl pins is only at Hardee's. 25 in all to celebrate the Super Bowl's silver anniversary. So a ring or a pin, you make the call.
Officially licensed Super Bowl pins, $2.99 when you buy a Coca-Cola product, or free with a Turkey Club combo or any Super Bowl combo.
Only at Hardee's.
Covering the two Virginias, this is WVVA Television 6. Now, live from WVVA, Loretta Budd, Stan Sweetsweather, and Woody Morgan with sports. This is News Center 6, tonight.
Good evening. Mercer County authorities have a puzzling case on their hands tonight, an apparent homicide without a victim. Investigators are convinced the hit-and-run fatality took place, but they don't know who the victim is or where to locate him. News Center 6's Betsy Thompson puts together some of the pieces of this puzzling story.
People do strange things, but this is probably one of the strangest I've ran into.
In his 20 years of police work, Mercer County Sheriff Don Meadows says he's never come across a stranger case.
It creates serious questions in my mind about whether it actually took place the way that we've been told that it did.
What they were told was that on the night of December 1st, 3 Mercer County men, all of whom had been drinking, were riding in this car when they hit an unidentified man along Rock Road near Sand Lick Junction just outside of Montcalm.
The driver says the guy was walking in the road and he hit him and stopped and checked him, and they loaded him in the car, going to take him to the hospital. They realized he was dead, and I guess they kind of panicked and took him and dumped him in the woods.
It was in these woods on this mountain behind Matoka High School where the driver told investigators he'd dumped the body. And that's where the story takes its strangest twist, because by the time sheriff's deputies came to locate the body, it was no longer there. Someone, for whatever reason, had moved it.
I'm satisfied that he put the body where he said he did, but somebody else went back and moved the body after that. I think that was probably done thinking that they was helping the driver.
After search crews and a team of tracking dogs combed the mountainside, turning up nothing, another lead took them to an abandoned coal mine where authorities spent Christmas Day dragging a sludge pond. Again, nothing.
So right now we're kind of up against the wall, but we just keep digging, something will turn up.
In Mercer County, Betsy Thompson, News Center 6.
So far, investigators say they have little to go on. The only description they have of the victim is that he's a white male, about 30 years old, wearing dark pants and a black jacket. Anyone with information about the case is asked to contact the Mercer County Sheriff's Department. A Raleigh County family spent Christmas searching for a loved one missing since December 18th. The Maynard family has searched I-77 with both car and plane, looking for any trace of Larry Maynard. Relatives describe him as a family man and loving father, traveling from South Carolina to Oak Hill to bring his father down for the holidays. Police have classified him as missing, but they're not aiding in the search.
They say that since he left South Carolina, the South Carolina police have to do all of it unless he is seen in another state. Unless he crosses over the state line, they say there's nothing they can do. And he's got 4 states to go through.
Maynard was reportedly last seen in North Carolina filling up his 1979 black Chrysler LeBaron. The state medical examiner's office in Charleston is under investigation. Health and Human Resources Secretary Tanya Willis Miller says her office is investigating but declined to comment further. Miller did say department representatives visited the medical examiner's office last week and advised office workers how to better dispose of medical waste. Miller says a team of investigators will be named next week. The power to run a trouble-plagued McDowell County Jail is being turned over to an outsider. Federal Judge Elizabeth Hallinan says dangerous conditions and a dismal history of not complying with court-ordered changes forced the move. The ruling comes after a last-ditch attempt by the county last week to keep control of the lockup. Hallinan has ordered W. Joseph McCoy, a former Department of Corrections commissioner, to run the jail at a salary of $200 per day. The State Department says it has asked all non-essential personnel and dependents of government workers to leave Jordan by January 15th, the deadline for Iraq to give up Kuwait or face possible attack. Meanwhile, the controversy is still brewing whether U.S. troops in the Gulf will be ready for action the 15th, should it come. Gary Matsumoto reports.
Welcome, Mr. Sandman, bring us Marines with big green gas masks and camouflage jeans. Healthy Marines with uncommon ailments.
The sand is nothing to sing about lightly in Saudi Arabia.
Sandman, bring us Marines.
All it brings is headaches for mechanics who have to repair sensitive equipment not built for such a harsh environment. Equipment like Apache helicopters, high-tech, lethal, and under these conditions, temperamental. The weather is yet one more factor that affects the readiness of American troops, now the subject of much debate. There are conflicting views. One man in a position to know, the commander of British forces here, General Sir Peter de la Billière.
All the American troops that we've worked with are ready. And I have to say that our work alongside the Marines has given us great confidence in our ability to fight together if that's what we're called upon to do.
But that's not an unqualified endorsement.
And I've got no doubts that they're ready to go, those who are out there with their equipment.
The hardware here in Saudi Arabia is about as ready as it will ever be. It's too late to redesign it all to desert specification.
Troops are another matter. Some are scheduled to arrive just weeks, if not days, before the mid-January deadline. The question is not will they be ready, but how can they possibly be? Gary Matsumoto, NBC News, Eastern Saudi Arabia.
After 8 years in a comatose state, Nancy Cruzan died today in a Missouri hospital, 12 days after doctors removed her life-sustaining feeding tube. Dennis Grave reports.
Nancy Cruzan was admitted to this Southwest Missouri hospital in 1983. For nearly 8 years, she was in a persistent vegetative state. It's here, in this room, that she died 12 days after her feeding tube was removed. Official cause of death was shock due to dehydration, due to traumatic brain injury. In a written statement, her family members said death was painless. About a dozen protesters have been camping outside the hospital since Nancy's feeding tube was removed. They packed up this morning when they learned that Nancy Cruzan was finally dead.
I'm just curious who's going to be next in this facility. I mean, don't think there are people watching to see what happens here that maybe they can solve their problems the same way.
Well, they know more than I do if they know that. Are there others here who might fit into roughly the same category as Nancy Cruzan? We may have one or two that would roughly fit that category, but I have never had any indication from the families of those people that they want to do that.
Did you accomplish anything out here? I don't know. History will tell us that. I know this. We didn't let her die alone. We didn't let it be in a back alley the way they wanted it to be. We made it a public issue.
The right to die debate will almost certainly continue. But for Nancy Cruzan and her family, the long fight is finally over. For NBC News, Dennis Graves, Mount Vernon, Missouri.
Violence from The Godfather Part 3 spilled off the silver screen and into the audience last night in New York. Police in Valley Stream say a 15-year-old boy died from a gunshot wound to the head. Police believe a dispute erupted between two groups of teenagers, apparently over noise, leaving 4 innocent bystanders wounded by gunfire. There have been no arrests. The theater was packed with 700 people. Still to come on News Center 6 tonight, the 1990 census results are in, and so are the returns at shops and stores everywhere. We'll take you there in case you missed it.
Andy Clark Ford wants you as a new customer. Every car on our lot January 1st must be taxed. So rather than pay Uncle Sam, we're making deals you can't say no to. Every new or used car or truck on the lot sold at or below invoice or wholesale. Two 1990 Lincoln Town cars worth $33,000, now only $24,000. A new 1990 Cougar was $19,000. For this sale only $13,800. How about a 1991 Escort Pony for $7,200? 1991 Ranger truck for $7,200. We even have 7.90 APR available on select vehicles. Andy Clark Ford wants you, but hurry, sale ends December 31st.
Not feeling well?
I'm dying here, I'm dying.
What are the symptoms?
You cry. Run out of breath. You wet your pants?
What could it be?
The measles.
No, you've got feud fever, and help is on the way.
Name something in a doctor's bag. Stethoscope.
So come on, we've got the cure.
Family Feud! Family Feud! The stew, they says, it's excellent!
When you tune in all this week for Family Feud.
Tomorrow at 4:30 on WVVA Television 6.
Right now, make your best deal on any new Nissan during the year-end wipeout. See your nearest Nissan dealer by January 3rd before you miss out on the wipeout.
No bells, no whistles, no gimmicks, no kidding. Your Lincoln Mercury dealers are out to move.
We interrupt this commercial for a special announcement from your Lincoln Mercury dealers. The big year-end sale is now in progress. And that means owning a new Lincoln has never been easier. Now get incredible year-end deals on the quiet and roomy Lincoln Town Car, the incomparable Lincoln Continental, and the sporty Mark 7. But the big year-end sale ends December 31st. Now back to your regularly scheduled commercial, already in progress.
Time for an update on how many people there are in the U.S. The Census Bureau's new report says there are now 249,632,692 Americans. That's an increase of 10.2% since the last census was taken 10 years ago. California remains the largest state with more than 29 million people, and Wyoming the least populated with just under 465,000. West Virginia will lose one of its 4 congressional seats due to its declining population, and a U.S. House seat will shift. The state's First Lady is giving up her post with the State University Board of Trustees. Rachel Warby has resigned from the board, saying she wants more time for her duties as West Virginia's First Lady and conductor of the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra. Warby praised the board's work, but said her conscience sometimes conflicted with board decisions, like the $30 million construction of Marshall's football stadium. Warby was appointed to the board in the summer of 1989, about a year before she married Governor Caperton. Today was another big day at the mall, but not for the usual reason. Instead of ringing up sales, the clerks were marking down prices and handing over the cash. As News Center 6's Catherine Boyd reports, it was just another stressful day at the mall.
Just a little over a day ago, last-minute shoppers were scurrying around the malls, grabbing anything in sight. Well, the scene hasn't changed all that much. While the Christmas season is over, the returning season has just begun.
Why are you returning this?
Because they're too big. They're not the right size.
It's long collar, too small.
But that's all we've been doing is bringing back returns.
Is it a nightmare?
Yes, it is. The day after Christmas always is.
For some stores, the after Christmas rush is crazier than before the big day.
It's pretty busy today. Why is it so busy?
We always have a half-price sale after Christmas, and people come in and buy the ornaments and gift wrap and things that's on sale. We have 50% off.
So I guess that means your Christmas isn't over.
No, today's a big day.
For harried clerks, customer exchanges are only the beginning.
So it doesn't just stop when they come and give you the item, huh?
No. You have to do the retagging and put the prices back on it because they usually rip them off. Then we put them out on the floor.
And if you're one of the many planning on returning a gift, the clerks suggest you bring the receipt, your driver's license, and a good book for the long wait. In Raleigh County, Catherine Boyd, News Center 6.
And to think of the weeks you spent looking for that perfect gift. Stan's up next with weather, and what we need to know is whether we're going to have snow or rain, or both. Stan?
Well, our forecast sounds like the snow is going to be coming, and then it'll be washed away with the rain. See if you don't agree. Details after this.
Now, through this Sunday, January 6th at Ramey's of Tazewell and Claypool Hill, we'll pay your sales tax and you make no payments till March 1991.
It's your ticket at Ramey's in Tazewell and Claypool Hill to drive deals like this one. Own a new 91 Cavalier for just $7,174 or just $125 a month with $1,500 cash or trade, 60-month 10.9 APR, and we pay your sales tax. No payments till next March.
But hurry, we pay your sales tax offer ends January 6th at Ramey's in Tazewell and Claypool Hill, Virginia.
Not feeling well?
I'm dying here, I'm dying.
What are the symptoms?
You cry. Run out of breath. You wet your pants?
What could it be?
The measles.
No, you've got feud fever, and help is on the way.
Name something in a doctor's bag. Stethoscope.
So come on, we've got the cure. Family Feud! Family Feud! The survey says it's excellent! When you tune in all this week for Family Feud!
Tomorrow at 4:30 on WVBA Television 6.
It's time to say yes.
Yes to year-end savings.
Your reliable Oldssteelers have Oldsmobiles galore that must be sold before year's end. So get set to say yes.
Yes to rebates up to $1,350.
Say yes to no payments until March.
Yes to year-end savings on options.
Year-end savings on every 88 Royale, even the new 98 Regency and Silhouette. Yes.
Yes to the Oldsmobile Edge and a great warranty.
Will you get a great deal from your reliable Olds dealer?
Yes. Yes. We say yes.
Welcome to Cole Chevrolet's 1990 Year-End Showcase. Our feature attractions are the best deals of 1990 on new cars and trucks. Starring 1990 Corsicas for a low $159 a month. Co-starring 91 S10 pickups, just $129 a month. And just $269 a month for the versatile performer Lumina APV. This is your ticket to a front row deal on every car and truck in stock. The spotlight is on savings during the 1990 Year-End Showcase at Cole Chevrolet.
We were just talking about how cold it is outside tonight.
Yes, it's
amazing.
cool. It's colder than I want it to be. I mean, it's only about 23 degrees, folks, but...
That's balmy compared to... I was home last week in Illinois, and the daytime high one day was 1 degree. And it's like that for days on end, so we should be thankful.
Let's just stay right here, folks. We don't have hurricanes and tornadoes to bother us, and the super cold air doesn't last long. Let's show you in a moment and tell you what's going to happen. But first, let's take a look at our almanac and show you what happened in Mercer County Airport today. 35 degrees was the highest we could get out of it today, and that's all right with me. Coldest 17 degrees, and 68 and -3 are the records over on the right. Sunrise tomorrow on a natural horizon, if you can find one in the mountains, 7:38 in the morning, sunset 5:14 p.m. May I wander into this one? And this is the battleground crossing there in White Sulphur Springs, the monuments for the Battle of White Sulphur Springs. Let's go. Let's see, I can see the moon, 3/4 of a moon out there shining right through those thin clouds, nothing much up there. Temperature 23 degrees, the relative humidity, it's not bad. And the barometer is high, folks, that's high. It's falling though right at the moment. East-northeast winds 9 miles an hour and no precipitation in the last 24 hours. Shall we move? Let's go. Sprinkle in all this and then build a fire. We built a bonfire here, folks, to help warm up some of these temperatures here. But boy, they're not warming up very well, are they? Look at these, and all in the 20s. Are you ready? Look at this is Pineville Mullins, this is Welch, and this is, Richlands, Rithville, Roanoke 28, coldest is Beckley 22, Hinton 26, 23 degrees in the eastern part of Greenbrier County. Travel conditions tomorrow. I don't know if you've got people coming or going or something like that. Well, take a look at this. This is bad news here. Look, ice and snow and all that stuff stretching across the Virginias and North Carolina, western North Carolina, all the way down to Arkansas. That's bad enough. Of course, it's bad up here in the plains with all the wind and snow and other parts of it. But doggone, let's just take that aside, and I'll tell you a better day to go. Here, look. There's warm air trying to move up this way, see? High pressure's bringing winds from the east around here. Thin clouds for us. We got clouds across most of the country here, but the gray ones are the thing we can see right through those things here. And let me show you what's heading our way. Here it is, this big glob with low pressure centers down, and this whole big glob is moving up this way. As soon as the front edge of it gets up here, we're going to start seeing, yes, folks, here it is tomorrow, ice and snow and that sort of thing as this whole system starts moving up there. A lot of moist air coming up from the subtropics, you know, and that's the way it is. Now, but let's take a look at the next day. The next day is Friday, folks. Look, it's going to be mostly just rain. It'll be too warm for that. So when that rain comes, that won't be anywhere nearly as bad as what we expect tomorrow. The big stuff, Friday, cold air coming down from Canada. It's going to be moving down this way the next few days. It's not going to be bothering us right away. You'll see in the forecast in a moment. Let's talk about that right now. The rest of tonight, partly cloudy skies, fair skies, whatever you want to call it, just thin clouds. Low expected 14 to 18 degrees, light east winds. And tomorrow, Thursday, 50% chance of some afternoon snow, light snow, of course, and a high expected in the mid-30s, southeast winds 10 to 20. Tomorrow night, light snow and sleet with rain after midnight. Some accumulation, by the way, on that snow, mostly in the higher elevations. Light, the low expected 35 to 40. Now, I know that's the same as a high, rising or steady temperatures with the warm air moving in. Let's look at that extended outlook now. Are you ready? Move over to Friday. Plain old rain, 80% likelihood, 47 for the high. And moving up in temperatures again on Saturday and Sunday. Rain likely each day for the weekend and moving up above normal. So the weekend may look wet now, but it doesn't look cold and snowy like it very well could this time of the year.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Stan.
Okay.
Up next in sports, the weekly NFL Player of the Week awards goes to a former Mountaineer, and the Woodrow Wilson Flying Eagles begin their 1990-91 title defense. Woody?
That's exactly right, Loretta. The Flying Eagles open the 1990-91 season tomorrow night. We'll have the details right after this timeout. Don't go away.
Ramey's Toyotathon is on! For a limited time, Ramey Toyota has reduced prices on all 91 Toyotas, like a new 91 Toyota Tercel as low as $67.99, or a new 1991 Toyota Camry as low as $11,599. How about a new 91 Celica GF as low as $13,999? Don't miss this Toyotathon only at Ramey Toyota, because when 1990's gone, so is this sale.
I remember my first recital. I played a butterfly, and I had butterflies. Mom and Dad have always been there for me. Classes, recitals, and since I was a baby, they've bought me savings bonds for college.
Your children only have one future. Secure it today with U.S. savings bonds, now tax-free for education.
Dad still calls me his baby, and all I can say to him is, Dad, I'm 12 years old.
It's Chevrolet Geo wintertime, where everyone can win with the trucks more people are switching to. You can win with cashback or low financing. And what's your favorite pickup? Chevy Half-Ton. It's America's favorite, too. And you can win with cashback on Chevy pickups, Astros, Suburbans. Wrap it up. I'll take it. You got it.
Hey, buddy, what you doing up there?
I'm practicing the chill out in Hawaii.
Register by January 3rd to win one of 2 trips to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. See your local United Chevy dealer for details.
It's coming. It's on the way to McCann's in Tazewell. It's the full line of Mitsubishi cars and trucks. Soon, very soon at McCann's in Tazewell, you can experience the power, the dynamic handling, the performance and looks of Mitsubishi. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, the Mitsubishi Galant, the Mitsubishi Mighty Max, the Mitsubishi Montero, the Mitsubishi Mirage, and the revolutionary Mitsubishi 3000 GT, and more Mitsubishi models. And they're all on the way to McCann's. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around. Mitsubishi, soon it can be found at McCann's 4-Way in Tazewell.
WVU's coach got a couple of Christmas gifts. I know he's not going to want to return, even though they're a day late.
That's right. He's very proud today, and I'll tell you why he's proud now, Loretta. You know, folks, just how impressive was former West Virginia Mountaineer quarterback Jeff Hostetler, who stepped in for the injured Phil Simms this past weekend? Well, impressive enough to be voted the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Hostetler came off the bench and started for the Giants, who beat Phoenix with Hostetler throwing for 1 touchdown and running for another. Now, the Bengals' James Brooks, who rushed for 201 yards in the Cincinnati win, was the AFC choice. On defense, another former Mountaineer, Darryl Talley, was named the AFC Player of the Week, while Scott Case was named the NFC choice for the Atlanta Falcons. So congratulations to a couple of former Mountaineers. A full slate of action in the NBA tonight, and the Charlotte Hornets, well, they were playing tonight, but also playing tonight was the Boston Celtics, who was battling the Indiana Pacers. Let's go to the parquet floor, and this is Larry Bird making a rare mistake as he passes it inside, and there the man that takes it all the way down was Reggie Miller. He led the Pacers with 20 points tonight. Still first half action. Watch here as Robert Parrish will get the ball. He will get it to Gamble, who gambles and gets it to Kevin McHale, who goes in for the slam. It was Celtics 75-63 at the half. Bird had 22 points tonight. A lot of them just like this as he works his magic and jumps and deuces as Boston wins 152-132. Let's take a look now at the scoreboard, bring you up to date on the rest of the scores in the NBA quickly. As we show you now, Charlotte was in action, but they lose to the Detroit Pistons 102-94. Seattle wins their fifth straight 99-97 tonight over Cleveland, and it was New Jersey falling to the Atlanta Hawks 113-111. Portland 108 as Clyde Drexler had 27 points. Patrick Ewing had 24 points for the Knicks, who had but 92 on the ball game. It was Orlando 109-103 over the Houston Rockets, and also tonight in overtime, Philadelphia 106, Washington 105. Well, if you are anybody but Woodrow Wilson head coach Dave Barksdale, you would have to think the Flying Eagles will wind up in the finals of the 8th annual WJLS basketball tournament on Friday night. That is after they beat Mullins on Thursday in the opening game of the tournament. But despite the 1-3 record, Barksdale won't take the Mullins Rebels for granted. Mark Brown has this tournament preview as the Eagles go for their second straight WJLS tournament title.
Flying Eagle coach Dave Barksdale hopes his week doesn't end like it began. On Monday, Barksdale and his team endured a 5-hour practice where nothing went right.
It just ruined my Christmas, let's say that. It just ruined my Christmas, Christmas Eve and Christmas, thinking about the practice Monday. I couldn't think back all the good practices we had. I just think back about that bad one, but that's the way it goes.
The WJLS tournament tips off the Flying Eagles season, and after spending a month in practice, most of Barksdale's players are eager for a real game.
It's just a lot different. We opened up probably the latest in the state. After Christmas, everybody else had played maybe 3 or 4 games. So I just can't wait to get back on the floor.
Woodrow Wilson tips off the season against Mullins. The Rebels began the year ranked first in Class A, but have struggled to just 1 win in 4 games.
I'm surprised as anyone that they're 1-3 or whatever, but they're dangerous. They're 5 starters. We real aware of them, and they're good players.
You can't take any team too lightly. No team. Mullins is a good team, I think. That's some top-ranked players.
Oak Hill and Milton play the first game Thursday night at the Raleigh County Armory. In Beckley, Mark Brown, News Center 6 Sports.
We'll have all the first day of action tomorrow night at 11.
And if it lasts through the weekend, I can go see some real-life basketball.
That's right.
Thanks, Woody. And when we come back, I'll look at a popular pastime with some unpopular problems.
Coming up later on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, the hit music of Melissa Manchester and the comedy of Tom Wilson.
Any requests at all? Famous tuba songs of the 60s, anything like that?
Plus, Southern restaurateur Lee Johnson.
I love them women just like you do.
You seem to know a lot about me. And after Johnny on Late Night with David Letterman, even more entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's entertainment so cheap, we're practically giving it away.
Get yours later.
Your best quality Ford dealer has an offer that's sure to make your season jolly. Right now, he's decked his halls with 50% more cash back on every Ford Escort in stock.
Money. Ooh, this is great.
That means you could get $500 cash back on a Ford Escort GT with air, stereo cassette, and more. Plus, get 50% more cash back from your Ford Dealer Association. But hurry, this offer will disappear soon. See your best quality Ford dealer today.
A sex scandal rocks the next People's Court.
He was pushing questions about my sexual choices. Could I change them?
Did he crazed sex palace?
They didn't say the nature of the house. I would not have moved in.
There's been no drugs in my home at all. I do not permit it.
Oh, really?
What went on behind closed doors on the next People's Court on the road across America.
Tomorrow at 5:30 on WVVA Television 6.
Just say yes to year-end sales at Ramey's in Princeton. Bring in the new year driving a new Oldsmobile, Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge from Ramey's in Princeton. Everything is reduced. Like a new 91 Olds Silhouette as low as $16,300, or a new 91 Olds Calais as low as $8,800. Just say yes to savings. Come on over to Ramey's in Princeton for the lowest prices and highest trade-ins.
Fans have been collecting autographs from their favorite sports heroes since probably the beginning of organized sports. But how do you know what you've got is the real thing if you didn't get it yourself? Joe Rocco says even collectors don't always know.
An autographed picture of Wayne Gretzky, Mike Schmidt. Someday they'll be worth big bucks. A signed Babe Ruth baseball. It's already valuable. But you know what? All three are counterfeit autographs, good enough to fool even the experts.
I think it's going a lot more than people think, and it's a shame because I think it's going to ruin the industry.
One of the most counterfeited items out there today are baseballs signed by this man, Joe DiMaggio. The ball on the right carries the real signature. It's worth about $200. The other is a forgery. So how do you know if that autographed bat or picture or just plain old piece of paper is the real signature? Well, the best way, the only way, is to be there to see it signed yourself. That's what John Santilli does. He owns and operates the 10th Inning Card Shop in West Warwick, Rhode Island.
Usually I can't tell the difference. That's one of the major reasons why I like to see a sign myself.
There are a lot of private collectors that take their own photographs of the people signing their autographs for if they had to sell it later, they would have the proof that this person signed it.
The autograph business has become big business, with big bucks changing hands, sadly becoming more and more corrupt. It used to be collecting signatures was just an innocent hobby for adoring fans who merely wanted something to remember their brush with greatness. I'm Joe Rocco for NBC News.
It's too bad, really. This corruption everywhere.
Everywhere you look, even among dogs.
Where that came from. You know, when I was in Saudi Arabia, I had the chance to get O.J. Simpson's autograph. He was staying in the hotel I was staying at. And do you know, I didn't have the nerve. I could not bring myself to ask.
Well, ask Stan. He'll give you one.
Yeah, Stan, would you mind signing this while we sign off tonight?
You don't have to break down my door.
Okay, thanks. That's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Want you, but hurry. Sale ends December 31st.
Drunk driving is the most frequently committed crime in the nation today. Every 22 minutes, one person dies in an alcohol-related traffic crash. Mothers Against Drunk Driving is asking each of us to tie a red ribbon to our car to remind anyone who gets in to drive sober during the holiday season and throughout the year. Driving sober saves friendships and lives. This holiday season, let's all tie one on for safety.
Hi, this is Gary Sheets at Ramey Chrysler Plymouth Dodge at Claypool Hill, and we're having a year-end clearance sale like never before. Every car and truck in stock, new and used, has been discounted for year-end clearance. Our loss is your gain. Yes, you heard me right. Our loss is your gain. And now through December the 31st, we'll pay you sales tax, both here at Ramey's at Claypool Hill and in Tazewell. So if you're looking for a great deal, come and see the Ramey Automotive family.
Covering the two Virginias, this is WVVA Television. Now, live from WVVA, Bill Huffman, Sherry Haig, Stan Sweet's weather, and Woody Morgan with sports. This is News Center 6 at 6.
Good evening. Sherry Haig is on vacation. Virginia schools heard, in fact, today what had been rumored for months.
Loretta, that is that major cuts are coming and coming with the new fiscal year. The Virginia Department of Education today announced more than $100 million in cuts to local school boards. They include as much as 12% cuts on any locality and as much as 5% on the poorest counties. In Giles County, school officials only recently completed their preliminary budget, shaving more than $300,000 from the spending plan in anticipation of the state reductions.
Personnel, we've had to cut 2 administrative positions for next year. We've had to cut into our support staff. We've also had to make drastic cuts in our non-personnel staff. And I don't know how much longer it can go. We feel that we've made all the cuts we possibly can make and still survive.
State funding to Giles County is being cut by more than 4%. In Southwest Virginia, the reductions range from 3.92% in Bland County to 5% in Tazewell and Buchanan counties. The reductions are scheduled to take effect at the start of the next fiscal year in July.
A sudden change in Greenbrier Valley's Humana Hospital is producing lots of questions, but very few answers. 3 of the hospital's top brass have been let go. But as News Center 6's Catherine Boyd reports, no one at Humana wants to tell why.
Last week, 3 top administrators at Humana Hospital, Greenbrier Valley, were removed from their positions in what's being termed by corporate headquarters as a transition in key management. When News Center 6 arrived at Humana Hospital today, we were told that interviews must be conducted outside. Also, earlier when we contacted Humana's corporate headquarters in Kentucky, we were told that it is corporate policy not to discuss why the 3 administrators are no longer working here.
Who were the 3 people that were let go?
Greg Gibson, Shirley Ward, and Bill Olbert.
The executive director, the association executive director, and the associate executive director of finance, respectively. When asked whether the changes were spurred on by financial wrongdoing, Olmsted replied,
As I said, we cannot discuss details. It's to nobody's benefit.
Okay. But Humana's interim administrator, David Carbone, has been quoted as saying the 3 were dismissed for misappropriation of funds. Olmsted added today,
The termination of an employee on short notice like this is nothing anybody likes to be involved in, but once in a while it does happen.
In Greenbrier County, Catherine Boyd, News Center 6.
It appears White Sulphur Springs has a new mayor after over a month of controversy on who should succeed the soon-to-be Commissioner John Bowling. The City Council seems to have reached an agreement. Bowling, White Sulphur Springs mayor for nearly 20 years, had refused to step down until Council unanimously agreed on his successor.
Council met and resolved within Council, and I think that's best. And to my understanding that everyone's in agreement as to what the result will be. It is my understanding that Mike Hager will be elected mayor by Council on January the 14th.
Bowling says he had no opinion on who should be chosen, but cared only that Council agreed unanimously.
Did West Virginia's Public Employees Insurance Agency deliberately award a multi-million-dollar contract to the highest bidder? Mountain State Blue Cross Blue Shield says they did, and they're going to court trying to get a judge to void the contract. Mountain State Blue Cross wants to process claims for the PEIA, and they say they can do it for $5 million less a year than the company from Dallas that got the job. Both sides were in court today, but proceedings were delayed, so Mountain State Blue Cross could get new attorneys. Another West Virginia state agency will be in a Charleston courtroom soon, but that's exactly where it wants to be. The state is suing 3 New York investment firms over hundreds of millions of dollars in losses to the state's investment funds. Now it looks like the case will be heard here in the Mountain State. Yesterday, a panel of the New York State Supreme Court ruled against the brokerage firms who want a New York judge to hear the case. A spokesman for the West Virginia Attorney General's office says the brokerage firms have one more level of appeals, but he doubts the decision will be overturned.
The search for an apparent murder victim near Montcalm has been called off until Monday. Mercer County Sheriff's officials say they've combed an abandoned coal mine outside of Matoka looking for the body of a man believed killed in a hit-and-run accident there some 3 weeks ago. They're out of clues and new leads, so the search has been postponed until next week.
Still to come on News Center 6, those tax forms are in the mail. We'll help you figure out what to do with them.
And celebrating New Year's Day will hit your wallet a little bit harder.
Your best quality Ford dealer has an offer that's sure to make your season jolly. Right now, he's decked his halls with 50% more cash back on every Ford Ranger in stock.
Money, money, money. Ooh,
That means you could get $1,000 cash back on a Ford Ranger XLT with stereo cassette, tachometer, and more, plus get 50% more cash back from your Ford Dealer Association. But hurry, this offer will disappear soon. See your best quality Ford dealer today.
Ramey's Toyotathon is on. For a limited time, Ramey Toyota has reduced prices on all 91 Toyotas, like a new 91 Toyota Tercel as low as $67.99, or a new 1991 Toyota Camry as low as $11,599. How about a new 91 Celica GF as low as $13,999? Don't miss this Toyotathon only at Ramey Toyota, because when 1990's gone, so is this sale.
West Virginia's State School Building Authority meets January 4th when officials from 23 counties will vie for $87 million in construction money. SBA officials say each county will get 15 minutes to present its case, stating why the money is needed. The money will be divided among counties based on enrollment and need.
After 2 days of meetings, the Tazewell County Public Service Authority decided this afternoon on a controversial new rate and fee. For now, the board decided to go ahead with the project to bring new lines into the Falls Mills area, which means they'll also be implementing the hotly debated non-users fee. Anyone within 300 feet of a county water or sewer line will be charged $30 for commercial customers, $15 for residential. The new rates for residential customers will be $20.90 for the first 2,000 gallons used. That rate is for water and sewage. The commercial customers, for commercial customers, there is no charge in the minimum charge. The price you pay to party is going to jump in 1991. The federal excise taxes on beer, wine, and liquor are being raised to help a government drowning in red ink. News Center 6's Joe Kreitz tells us about the increases and how it appears many people are going to bite the bullet and pay more instead of drinking less.
Happy hour may not be quite as happy after New Year's Eve. Uncle Sam is raising sin taxes, and people who enjoy having a drink will feel the pinch starting January 1st.
So now when a bartender asks you to pick your poison, you'll have to dig a little bit deeper to pay for it. Tax on wine will increase from 3 cents to 21 cents a bottle. A six-pack of beer will see taxes rise from 16 cents to 32 cents. And a fifth of liquor will also be going up 16 cents.
Alma Kozart, general manager of the Beckley Holiday Inn, says she'll soon be paying an extra $7 for a keg of beer, a cost she'll pass on to her customers. But she says she's not concerned about a drop in business.
If they want to party, if they want to come out to a lounge and party and dance and have fun, they're willing to pay for it. And they'll cut other places in order to be able to do that.
Employees of area ABC stores don't expect to see liquor sales drop either.
I say they're still going to buy it.
Will they?
They'll buy it before they go buy groceries. That's the truth.
The feds predict these higher tariffs will raise nearly $9 billion for a country that's swimming in red ink. Joe Kreitz reporting for News Center 6.
Recent changes made by the Internal Revenue Service will make it easier for around 4.5 million people to deal with their taxes this year. The IRS has revised its 1040A form, which will allow more taxpayers to use it instead of the longer forms. An IRS spokeswoman says some people will benefit more from the changes than others.
Mostly those who receive retirement income.
and that's the only income they receive. Or if they claim credits for the elderly and the disabled, or if they have estimated tax payments that they want to claim, it's just a simpler form in general.
Fisher says West Virginians received $593 million in tax refunds last year.
A Giles County manufacturer of underground mining equipment is looking to regain its position at the forefront of the industry. But first, Fairchild International has to work its way out of bankruptcy. As News Center 6's Betsy Thompson reports, it's trying to do that by totally revolutionizing the coal industry.
Fairchild International has always prided itself for being on the cutting edge of technology in the underground mining equipment industry. Jack Fairchild started the company 25 years ago, but a financial setback in 1988 forced it into Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It's only been recently the company has seen a comeback, turning a profit for each of the last 9 months. The turnaround is credited to this new piece of breakthrough mining machinery, a continuous miner that cuts deeper and quicker than conventional models, and does it selectively.
We have the latest technology, and we have the only center place, full face, continuous miners, and it lends itself to so many things. It's better roof control, which is a great asset to any coal company. We have the ability to select mine and to cut clean coal and separate it from the dirty coal inside.
Next year, Fairchild plans to put this model on the market, an updated version that performs roof bolting and cutting functions simultaneously.
We have to be more competitive in mining coal, and this will really enhance the ability to mine coal at a high rate and at a low cost.
Fairchild is in the midst of reorganizing, but if its advances in its full-service, complete continuous mining systems pay off, it'll eventually add 50 more jobs to its payroll of 100. In Giles County, Virginia, Betsy Thompson, News Center 6.
And Stan's coming up next, and the wonders of the weather just won't cease.
That's right. Snow yesterday and 60-degree highs tomorrow. Stan, are you sure?
Well, tomorrow could turn out to be warm and dry enough, as a matter of fact, to play a round of golf. Details coming up next.
Now, through this Sunday, January 6th at Ramey's of Tazewell and Claypool Hill, we'll pay your sales tax and you make no payments till March 1991.
It's your ticket at Ramey's in Tazewell and Claypool Hill to drive deals like this one. Own a new 91 Cavalier for just $7,174 or just $125 a month with $1,500 cash or trade, 60-month 10.9 APR, and we pay your sales tax. No payments till next March.
But hurry, we pay your sales tax offer ends January 6th at Ramey's in Tazewell and Claypool Hill, Virginia.
You know, it's a long way from the NBA. Good thing I stayed in school. I never made it as a ball player. I'm Woody Morgan. How would you like to win 4 tickets to the NBA All-Star Jamboree featuring MC Hammer and a host of NBA stars? Here's how. Stop by one of our participating banks and pick up an entry form for your age group for the WVVA Stay in School It's Your Best Move essay contest. Then write in 250 words or less why you should stay in school. Return entries to WVVA TV no later than January 13th.
So, how was the big date?
Okay.
Just okay?
Well, he's not Mike.
Oh, you have to get over this. It's been a year.
You know, I could have stopped him. I knew he was too drunk to drive. I was afraid to embarrass him in front of his friends. Why didn't I do something?
Look, you'll find somebody like Mike.
Maybe, but I want Mike.
Take the keys. Call a cab. Take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Right now, make your best deal on any new Nissan during the year-end wipeout. See your nearest Nissan dealer by January 3rd before you miss out on the wipeout.
A medical breakthrough is on the horizon for hemophiliacs, who are the people lacking a certain blood factor which enables clotting to prevent bleeding.
Testing is underway on a treatment using man-made materials rather than human blood plasma to treat hemophiliacs. The advantage to this new treatment is that it could reduce the threat of passing on certain viruses like hepatitis, even AIDS, but more research is needed before it'll be on the market.
They're trying to see whether or not, one, there is less conversion from being a hepatitis negative person to a hepatitis positive person, or also conversion from HIV negative patient to an HIV positive patient.
Dr. Chambers says further studies may also show the treatment effective in limiting the amount of plasma patients need. If research proves successful, the treatment could be available to the public sometime next year.
It's good news.
Yeah.
And good news, I guess, in the weather, too, tonight, isn't it?
Well, it's good news. It's not freezing and cold and sleeting and snowing and all that jazz. Yeah, instead of doing anything, it's warming up.
It was a bona fide mess out there last night, though. That was really something.
In some places, folks, it's still a mess. Let's take a look at our almanac. Let's start our weather that way and show you what happened at the Mercer County Airport today. Went up to a big fat 40 degrees temperature. 31, that's this afternoon, and 31 is the lowest. Now, that was midnight last night. It started moving up since then. 67 is a record over on the right for the highest on this date, and 0, 1914 is the coldest. Sunrise tomorrow, 7:38, and sunset at 5:16 p.m. Can you hear this thing? Can you hear these? Look at these dumb kids. What is what is the something dog Christmas pound or something? The bird dog Christmas pound. Oh, the odds, man. All that stuff. We got this home video from Narissa Young. Forest Hill, little tracking problem along here once in a while. Don't bother that though, but and anyhow, it shows you what madness obsesses us during the holiday season, folks. And send us some tapes and we promise to look at them and send them back to you. All right, here we go. Let's see what's happening. Temperature 37 degrees. I see some clouds up there. 95. That's heavy for relative humidity. It's wet out there. The barometer is rather high and rising. East-northeast winds 5. Just a trace of precipitation. Okay, let's go. Now, let's move into this crazy scheme we have. Steady or rising temperatures, folks, and here they are. Let me hit them fast here. 51's the warmest. That's in Richlands, and the coldest one's in Lewisburg. And they said there, Jack said, at the airport, it's been there for, what, 3 or 4 hours in a row. Hasn't changed at all. All right, let's jump into our satellite picture. Here's the cold front. The cold air has moved down this way, and as well as warm air has been moving back up the other way again. So it's kind of can't make up its mind right now. It's not near us at the moment, but it's going to come right back up again tomorrow. Another cold air line moving in tomorrow. I mean, a little farther in tomorrow. Here's the latest radar. There's nothing around us. We did have some rain around it. I thought I'd pick it up and see if we had anything close to us. Nothing now. Just a big glob out here in the Midwest, and it's in association with a little well in front of the cold front that's coming in there. You'll see the cold front tomorrow. It'll be running well down here behind us here and cutting down across the Great Lakes on back down into Texas there, and behind it ice and snow and that sort of thing. But in front of it, rain, and this frontal system is going to be moving back up as a warm front, triggering some showers. Now, this is late in the evening here. The next day, Sunday, at about 6 o'clock in the evening, the cold line will be right on top of us there. And then well behind it there, it doesn't get cold until it gets well, maybe several hundred miles behind it, turns to ice and snow back there. But as far as we're concerned, warm air shoving up from the south will keep us abnormally warm. And it'll keep us in the rain department on Sunday instead of the snow department. I think I kind of like that. Let's talk about our regional forecast now for the two Virginias. Starting out with the rest of tonight, cloudy with a chance of drizzle. Low expected, well, we can't call it low. Maybe we get up to about 43, 45 or something. And maybe wherever you are, it might stay steady. South winds blowing, that'll do it. Tomorrow, Saturday, mostly cloudy and warmer. Let's hope the rain doesn't start too early for your golf game. A high near 60. Again, winds coming in from the south, 10 to 20 this time. All right, how about tomorrow night? Cloudy with a 50-50 chance of showers, warm with a low, only 48 degrees. All right, here's that extended outlook, folks. Sunday, the rain's going to be continuing there. Showers likely this time. Possibly a thunderstorm, still warm, 60 for a high. Then Monday, 'twill be the day before New Year's. Saturday are scattered showers, maybe dry by New Year's late evening there, New Year's Eve late. 52 for the high that day, though. Tuesday, clearing to only partly cloudy skies. Temperatures dropping back to normal with another cold blast coming in by Wednesday. And not a beautiful weekend, folks, but it's not going to be cold.
It's nuts is what it is.
Crazy.
This is
summertime, almost, well, let's say fall temperatures.
Yeah, but it's not bad, actually. I mean, I don't mind it any.
It's just not right.
He'd like for it to be cold.
That's true.
Thanks, Dan.
Up next in sports, Penn State and Florida State kick it off in the inaugural Blockbuster Bowl.
And we'll set the stage for area college and high school basketball tournaments, Woody.
You know, that's right. Mother Nature has caused a logjam of games on tap for the night. We'll have the details when sports continues right after this.
It's coming. It's on the way to McCann's in Tazewell. It's the full line of Mitsubishi cars and trucks. Soon, very soon at McCann's in Tazewell, you can experience the power, the dynamic handling, the performance and looks of Mitsubishi. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, the Mitsubishi Galant, the Mitsubishi Mighty Max, the Mitsubishi Montero, the Mitsubishi Mirage, and the revolutionary Mitsubishi 3000 GT, and more Mitsubishi models. And they're all on the way to McCann's. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around. Mitsubishi, soon it can be found at McCann's 4-Way in Tazewell.
Life on the air.
KJCA Midnight Caller, please hold.
Is living right on the edge.
It's the midnight hour, and this is Jack Killian, the Nighthawk. You're on the air. Speak to me. Thrill me. Okay. Well, it looks like there's trouble in River City. Yes, sirree, Bob.
Kind of gives you the chills.
It's here. It's hot. The year-end sales spectacular with Golden Advantage rebates. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealers are out to slash their inventories, so they're giving fantastic deals on everything in stock. Plus, $500 Golden Advantage cash back on Plymouth Voyager, America's best-selling minivan. And save $300 on Voyager LE options. But hurry, the sales spectacular ends December 31st.
See your Mountaineer Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Your best quality Ford dealer has an offer that's sure to make your season jolly. Right now, he's decked his halls with 50% more cash back on every Ford Ranger in stock.
Money, money, money. Ooh, das ist hilfreich.
That means you could get $1,000 cash back on a Ford Ranger XLT with stereo cassette, tachometer, and more, plus get 50% more cash back from your Ford Dealer Association. But hurry, this offer will disappear soon. See your best quality Ford dealer today.
And in just a few minutes, basketball is going to start up again tonight, isn't
That's
it?
right. Mother Nature, as we said, was not very kind to us last night. All the roads were messed up, but hopefully they're in good shape tonight.
It's tourney time, and no matter where you live, you don't have far to drive. Really.
Oh, really? From the top to the bottom of our coverage area, there's basketball everywhere. Yeah. You know, folks, the annual Currents Basketball Classic tips off tonight in about a half an hour at Bluefield State. The first game features the pre-tournament favorite, Alderson Broaddus, against West Virginia State. In the nightcap, the host Big Blues take on Everett College from Danville, Virginia. The Big Blues have won just one ball game so far this season, and while head coach Terry Brown is excited about playing a team outside of West Virginia Conference, the Cougars present a variety of problems for his team.
Their scoring punch is mainly inside, but they have an experienced basketball team. They have two veteran guards that's going to cause us some problems. They run the ball with the up-tempo type game. They play very good defense. I'm really excited about playing Everett and getting out of our conference and trying to play some teams out of our conference. But on the other hand, we have a mismatch problem with them, and that's going to cause us a lot of trouble.
We have highlights for you tonight at 11. Elsewhere tonight, Virginia Tech is involved in the Richmond Times-Dispatch tournament. The Hokies will meet the Richmond Spiders at 9 o'clock tonight. The first game of the tournament features James Madison and Virginia Commonwealth. And the Marshall Thundering Herd let the Indiana Hoosiers jump out to an 18-2 run to start the ball game last night in the opening round of the Hoosier Classic in Indianapolis, and the Hoosiers never looked back. John Taft was held to 3 points in the first half, but responded with 25 second-half points, but it was not nearly enough as the Herd fell for the third time this season to a top 25 ranked team, this time 91-67. The Herd now 5-6 battles North Texas State tonight in the consolation round. North Texas State lost to Ohio University 77-74. Ohio University will play Indiana in the finals tonight. Well, after a snow out last night, the WJLS tournament will tip it off tonight at the Raleigh County Armory. The defending champion Woodrow Wilson Flying Eagles are set to go, and despite the fact that this tournament doesn't feature any 4 unbeatens, the head coach of the Flying Eagles is sure that this tournament will be a good one.
It's still going to be a real competitive tournament. Anytime Oak Hill and Beckley's in the same tournament, it draws a lot of attention because of the rivalry, and same way with Mullins, you know, with their tradition. Milton's a new team, and they went to the finals of the regional last year and got beat by Logan, and they've lost to Logan this year already. But the coaching staff in preseason thought they were going to be real strong. So it's a real competitive tournament as far as we're concerned.
A few of their holiday tournaments tonight at Princeton, of course, the Twin State Shootout. Montoka, that is, meets Pocahontas in the first game at 6:30. Montcalm and Spanishburg hook up in the second ball game at 8:30. And we also want to mention one change of game time. The Princeton-Graham game, originally scheduled for January 2nd, has been moved to tomorrow night at the Graham Middle School at 7:30. Well, two old friends of the Virginia Tech Hokies and the West Virginia Mountaineers hook up tonight in the Blockbuster Bowl from Miami. The Seminoles of Florida State, who beat Virginia Tech earlier this year in Tallahassee, comes in as the favorite, 6.5 points favorites. And Florida State head coach Bobby Bowden says he knows why Penn State wanted to play his Seminoles, while head coach of the Mountaineers, Paterno, beat Bowden 6 times when the Nittany Lions and the Mountaineers hooked up. Now, both teams come in 9-2, and both coaches have the distinction of having over 200 wins to their credit. This should be the best bowl game of the season. So there you have it. And, you know, another thing to point out is that while Bobby Bowden was an assistant at West Virginia, they beat West Virginia 4 other times. So he's 0 for 10 against Penn State and Joe Paterno.
And I really enjoyed that last night. Air Force and Ohio State. Ohio State thought it was beneath them to go to the Liberty Bowl and take on the likes of Air Force, and they showed them a thing or two.
Showed them a thing or three, that's right.
Ouch.
Showed us all, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks, Woody.
And still to come, folks in Fayetteville get a generous gift.
If they have the funds to breathe it back to life. That story's next.
Just say yes to year-end sales at Ramey's in Princeton. Bring in the new year driving a new Oldsmobile, Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge from Ramey's in Princeton. Everything is reduced. Like a new 91 Olds Silhouette as low as $16,300, or a new 91 Olds Calais as low as $8,800. Just say yes to savings. Come on over to Ramey's in Princeton for the lowest prices and highest trade-ins.
You know, it's a long way from the NBA. Good thing I stayed in school. I never made it as a ball player. I'm Woody Morgan. How would you like to win 4 tickets to the NBA All-Star Jamboree featuring MC Hammer and a host of NBA stars? Here's how. Stop by one of our participating banks and pick up an entry form for your age group for the WVVA Stay in School It's Your Best Move essay contest. Then write in 250 words or less why you should stay in school. Return entries to WVVA TV no later than January 13th.
Hi, I'm Dick Clark, and I'd like to tell you about a brand new game show here on WVVA Television 6. It's called The Challengers, and it's unlike any other game show you've ever seen before. That's because many of the questions come from the headlines of the day. Of course, you can prepare for the challenge by watching NBC Nightly News and News Center 6, and then step up to the challenge weekday afternoons at 5 here on WVVA Television 6. This is the place to be. This is the place for the Challengers every weekday at 5.
Welcome to Cole Chevrolet's 1990 Year-End Showcase. Our feature attractions are the best deals of 1990 on new cars and trucks. Starring 1990 Corsicas for a low $159 a month. Co-starring 91 S10 pickups, just $129 a month. And just $269 a month for the versatile performer, Lumina APV. This is your ticket to a front row deal on every car and truck in stock. The spotlight is on savings during the 1990 Year-End Showcase at Cole Chevrolet.
The dream of opening a Fayetteville Community Center is one step closer to reality tonight.
The owner of several area IGA stores, Butch Elder, donated a building and some property to the city today. Mayor Jim Murdoch says although the building will need lots of repairs before it can be occupied, the city is up to the challenge.
We're not afraid of hard work, but I'll tell you what, we have the kind of people that work for the town that know how to do this work. And they are more than capable of doing a job and doing it properly and getting a Class A job out of it. And sure, it's going to be hard work, but we have the people and the ingenuity to do it.
Murdoch says it will run around $150,000 to bring the building up to snuff, and he's already applying for state grants to help out.
And I know Mayor Murdoch, and I know he's the kind of guy that if he says they'll get it done, they will.
They'll
so
get it done.
It's good news.
That'll do it for us. For Stan and Woody, I'm Bill Huffman.
And I'm Loretta Budd. We'll see you at 11. Good night.
Major U.S. reinforcements head to the Gulf.
That's the question being asked to President Bush about the Secretary of State. Dense fog is to blame for a car wreck along a Utah interstate involving at least 100 vehicles. And a court date's been set for a civil suit involving Governor Arch Moore. Join us in a moment.
When an anchorman's memo gets out, it's going to be VVA Television 6.
Live from WVVA, Loretta Budd, Stan Sweetsweather, and Woody Morgan with sports. This is News Center 6 Tonight.
With less than 2 weeks before the UN deadline for Iraqi troops to withdraw, no indication that President Bush will back down. President Bush did spend the day concerned with the Gulf crisis, with the main question whether Secretary of State James Baker should go to the Gulf and whether he should meet with Saddam Hussein. Sandy Gilmore has more.
The White House painted a gloomy picture. Press Secretary Marlin Fitzwater said everything we hear from Saddam Hussein is that he has no intention to leave Kuwait. While Saddam Hussein was bragging that he plans to make Iraq wealthy, Fitzwater said it is up to Saddam whether he wants to make any move for peace. In case there is war, the State Department announced that Germany will send an Air Force unit to help defend Turkey, a U.S. ally, from Iraq.
This action is another firm signal of Western resolve and solidarity in response to a clear threat to the security of a member country, and thus to the alliance as a whole.
And in an interview recorded earlier, the president continued his hard line.
And if we don't do something about it today, we're going to live to pay a much greater price tomorrow. And I am absolutely firm in that.
The president is also headed for a confrontation with Capitol Hill. Senator Edward Kennedy says Congress must first approve any action.
President Bush has no authority and no right to unilaterally waive this bedrock requirement of the Constitution and our democracy.
And so, at this hour, the White House position is no compromise. Unless Saddam Hussein backs down, he will be removed by force. No indication yet how soon that force would be used. Sandy Gilmore, NBC News, the White House.
236 soldiers from West Virginia are on their way to the Persian Gulf. The soldiers belong to the 351st Ordnance Company of the 99th U.S. Army Reserve Command located in Romney, West Virginia. The company's first detachment out of Martinsburg was also deployed today. President Bush is asking for 430,000 soldiers to be assembled in the Gulf by January 15th. Trouble in El Salvador. Military and rebel sources in El Salvador say leftist guerrillas have shot down a military helicopter in the eastern part of the country, killing 3 American crewmen on board. No more details are available. A chain reaction along Interstate 215 near Salt Lake City. Authorities say dense fog was to blame for a massive car pileup that killed at least 3 people. Utah Highway Patrol officials say at least 100 cars were involved in the crash. A truck driver who managed to escape the accident with minor injuries said it's the worst accident he's seen in his life. Sentencing has been delayed for a 23-year-old Wyoming County woman who pleaded guilty last month to selling her 14-year-old sister as a prostitute. A judge today ordered a diagnostic evaluation for Margaret Gibson, who, despite her plea, is still claiming innocence. Tracy Kingsley has more.
23-year-old Margaret Gibson, unemployed and on welfare, mother of 2 toddlers. She took temporary custody of her 14-year-old sister when the girl ran away from home. But things didn't work out, and Gibson claims her sister set out for revenge.
I tried to explain to her, I'm glad you got your boyfriend, but don't be having sex or anything to do with sex in my house in front of my 2 kids.
And after that, they ran off.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, the charges were filed.
Yeah.
But prosecutors believe the younger girl's story that Gibson allowed this man, Dewey Brown, to have sex with her sister for $200. Brown is facing sexual assault charges, and the man Gibson says is her sister's boyfriend, Homer Vance Jr., is accused of whisking the girl out of state to keep her from testifying.
He had a family interest in seeing his father or his father's girlfriend not prosecuted, and he helped in removing her from the state of West Virginia.
But Gibson says her sister fled the state after making up the charges. Despite her plea bargain, she says she's innocent.
I am going to do time for something that has done on her own.
Judge John Harko ordered Gibson to Prunytown for an evaluation. Gibson faces up to 5 years in prison when she's sentenced. However, that's been delayed until the completion of the 60-day evaluation and until Judge Harko has had a chance to look over the results. In Pineville, Tracy Kingsley, News Center 6.
Former Governor Arch Moore is due back in court this August, this time to fend off charges by the state attorney general's office that Moore should repay the state more than $4 million allegedly obtained illegally before, during, and after his last administration. The civil suit filed on behalf of the state last year after Moore's conviction on federal corruption charges Also names Beckley coal operator Paul Kaiser and 4 of his coal companies.
And we think that we've established a pattern not only beginning before he was actually sworn in as governor during his last term, but also throughout the course of his governorship, and even afterwards when he was trying to conceal his activities by asking people to lie before the federal grand jury and things of that nature.
Moore is hoping the case will never make it to trial, scheduled for August 13th in U.S. District Court. A hearing on his motion to dismiss the suit is scheduled in March. The Raleigh County Commission has a new man at the helm. At its organizational meeting this morning, the commission elected Paul Flanagan to serve as president for 1991. The past president, Don Baer, was recently unseated by Jack McDonald, who joined the commission today for his first meeting. Flanagan is putting zoning at the top of his priority list, along with economic development and improved water and sewer service for Raleigh County.
Land use and zoning is an intricate part of economic development. And in order to orderly develop the county and move the county into the future, I think that's an issue that we certainly have to address and make a decision whether there will be additional zoning or whether or not what we have is acceptable.
Last year, residents raised massive protests to any zoning. While the Raleigh County Commission swore in its new president, Mercer County's commission was swearing in its newest member. Republican John Rapp officially joined the commission this morning after winning the November race. His term in office, of course, has only begun, but he has a few issues he's already anxious to tackle.
Congratulations.
I think that, you know, there's several things that need looking at in the county. Litter control, the Humane Society. I think we need to look at our landfill situation. And, you know, there's several things to look at.
The commission later voted to elect Tate Lohr as its new president. Still to come on News Center 6 tonight, gas prices continue to drop. And the ball's going to drop on West Virginia students who don't obey some new rules. Those stories when we come back.
The 3 best days to buy furniture, and this is why.
$30 million and it's all gotta go.
Heilig Meyer's $30 million clearance sale.
$30 million and it's all gotta go.
Never before savings of up to 68%.
$30 million and it's all gotta go.
Like this sofa, just $247 delivered.
$30 million and it's all gotta go.
Light bulbs, a dime a piece. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only. And only at Heilig Meyer's.
$30 million and it's all gotta go.
On the Challengers.
Good luck to all 3 of you.
Join Dick Clark for a psycho competition.
Norman.
And intense topics.
Things that screech. We've got cars and cats and Roseanne Barr.
And suspenseful answers.
Grandma got run over by a what?
Truck. No. Take a thrilling trip to the ultimate challenge.
It's worth $10,000.
The fast-paced excitement will drive you crazy on the Challengers.
Tomorrow at 5 on WVVA Television 6.
Oops, caught with his pants down.
Listen to just a little bit of it and you'll see what this man has put me through.
On the next People's Court, when he denies doing her dirty.
I'm not a fighter. I certainly wouldn't start with someone's mother.
Mom produces a tape.
Tell me something, Mrs. Perry. Do you really think it's worth all of this? Do you really think that it's worth not knowing whether I'm a crazy person or not?
Don't miss the next People's Court.
Tomorrow at 5:30 on WVVA Television 6.
Ever wonder what makes the Golden Girls so irresistible?
Oh, God. Dorothy, you're the smart one. Oh, yes. Blanche, you're the sexy one. Yippee-I-O-K-Y. Sophia, you're the old one. Cabbage she serves me. In 10 minutes, I could be skywriting. I'm the nice one. She went to a special school for the dull.
5 hit seasons and still going strong.
Let's hit the road.
The Golden Girls.
West Virginia's public school students are learning something new this semester, that unruly behavior will be treated equally at all the state schools. Behavior comes under the state's new Code of Conduct, detailed in the classroom for the first time today. News Center 6's Betsy Thompson has more.
This will be posted, and we hope in every classroom and in every school. And I'm going to put this one up here first.
These 7th graders at Roosevelt Junior High School in Charleston were the first to learn about the new West Virginia Code of Conduct, a 5-point policy covering attendance, behavior, obedience, discipline, and the use and possession of weapons, drugs, alcohol, or tobacco products. Soon, the guidelines will govern every classroom in the state.
Consistently, everywhere we went, parents, teachers, students said we want to put discipline back in the schools.
The policy evolved out of this year's town meetings, was authorized by the legislature, developed with the aid of public input, and recently approved by the State Board of Education. The intent is to weed out troublemakers, giving other students more opportunity to learn.
These are the very basic components that we expect of all children. If that's already incorporated in the practices that the school systems have, then fine. But for the many out there that don't have them, they need this. This needs to be done, and this will cover the state.
Here at Roosevelt, the Code of Conduct is really not much different than the rules the school already has in place. And while they may sound good on paper, the real test comes inside the classroom.
A lot of people, they listen to the teachers more, and when we have this, then they don't take the rules around here for granted, and that's why we're such a good school.
But enforcement may not be as universal as the policy itself. Roosevelt has a policy against tardiness, and for this appearance, the governor and Meraki showed up 5 minutes later than scheduled.
Well, that's, I think you can give the governor 5 minutes as we kind of went through and saw kids on our way up here.
Well, then I guess we probably need to go into the suspension class.
In Charleston, Betsy Thompson, News Center 6.
Gasoline prices have fallen as much as 8 cents this past week in West Virginia. A spokesman for the AAA Automobile Association says there seems to be less panic in the market, and as a result, prices are going down. Prices had been as high as $1.38 a gallon. That's a 21-cent a gallon increase since August 2nd, when Iraq invaded Kuwait. Buying alcohol may be like pouring money down the drain. Doctors say you can get looped on just plain water. The Journal of the American Medical Association reports on the case of a flight attendant who drank 3 liters of water in 3 hours when she couldn't urinate for a drug test. Later, she seemed to be drunk, and doctors determined she was suffering from water intoxication. And Stan's got some sobering news about tomorrow's weather. Stan?
Well, the clear sky is not going to help warm it up very much tomorrow, but we'll take anything we can get. Details next.
You know, folks, it's a long way from the NBA. Whoa, it's a good thing I stayed in school. I'd never made it as a ball player. I'm Woody Morgan. How would you like to win 4 tickets to the NBA All-Star Jamboree, featuring Fresh Prince, MC Hammer, and a host of NBA stars? Here's how. Stop by one of our participating banks and pick up an entry form for your age group for the WVVA Stay in School, It's Your Best Move essay contest. Then at 250 words or less, write why you should stay in school. Return entries to WVVA Television, Route 460 Bypass, Bluefield, West Virginia, 24701. Entries will be judged on a county and regional level.
Hammer time. Can't touch this.
All county winners receive a $200 savings bond. Regional winners receive 4 tickets to the NBA All-Star Jamboree and overnight accommodations at the Holiday Inn, Charlotte, North Carolina. Entry deadline is January 13th.
So pick up your essay entry form now. Yeah.
Can't touch this.
Essays can be picked up at all 3 locations of the First National Bank of Bluefield and the Bank of Oceana.
Can't touch this.
Get the feud attitude. Join the family that's shaking up the nation. Survey says there's gonna be some jubilation. $10,000 is a sweet sensation. The youngest, the oldest of every generation. You've got to play so you can say, come on, and get the feud attitude.
Tomorrow at 4:30 on WVVA Television 6.
Now, through this Sunday, January 6th at Ramey's of Tazewell and Claypool Hill, we'll pay your sales tax and you make no payments till March 1991.
It's your ticket at Ramey's in Tazewell and Claypool Hill to drive deals like this one. Own a new 91 Cavalier for just $7,174 or just $125 a month with $1,500 cash or trade, 60-month 10.9 APR, and we pay your sales tax. No payments till next March.
But hurry, we pay your sales tax offer ends January 6th at Ramey's in Tazewell and Claypool Hill, Virginia.
And Stan says he made a resolution, but it had nothing to do with weather. What was it, organizing your life? Is that what you said you're going to do this year?
Just getting a pile on my desk and everything cleared away and
Yeah.
doing all the stuff that you know you ought to do every day, folks.
Well, you could wait and do that in the spring.
Yeah.
Your spring cleaning. Because well, actually, you could start doing it now. It feels like spring out there already.
They said that Eisenhower, the guy always thought that Eisenhower had to walk in and was president, his desk was clear, and he wondered how he did that, to clear up on. And I saw him one evening when he left, he just scooped it all in a drawer and shoved
Yeah,
the
open a drawer. I used to clean my room that way, so I know all about it.
A year from now, it'll all take care of itself, I hope. All right, folks, let's take a look at our almanac and see if it'll take care of itself for tonight. It went up to a big fat 49 degrees there as you look through that and see winter place there and all the goings on. 25 was the coldest so far. 68 and -7 are the records. That really happened on this particular date back way there, back far. Sunrise tomorrow, 39 minutes past 7 o'clock on a nice flat horizon. Sunset at 5:20 p.m. Good luck finding one of those. Doesn't that look cold and nice? Doesn't that look great? Gee, it's all nice and slick out there. It feels good up. Of course, colder up there too because it's higher altitude. All right, here we go. Current 35 degrees out there, and you can see that big silvery moon up there outshining the red planet Mars. All right, 85% the relative, that's kind of high. The barometer is a little on the high side, rising further slowly, not going very fast. The winds have calmed down, and if they come in with a little bit from the west once in a while, no precipitation in the last 24 hours. Let's sprinkle in all these things here. Read them and bundle up, folks. These are the temperatures that we have right now, and they're all hovering around the freezing mark there. And good thing there's no wind, because if we had the wind, it would really feel cold. Because here we are, 28 degrees, and that's in the Pineville-Mullins area, 31 in Welch, 32 in Richlands. We have the coldest temperature, a 26-degree temperature. That's down in Bland. Do you see the bald spot on top of my head when I lean over? I've got to quit that. All right, 33. That's in Hinton right now. 28 degrees, that's in eastern Greenbrier County. 35 in Roanoke, and the warmest up there in Charleston. I see you up there in Charleston, 36 degrees. Let's jump to the satellite picture. The biggest thing to note is the cold air line. This is the front edge of some cold air that's moving down through us. And you can see it's already past us here. See, it's down in across Virginia now, moving across Roanoke. And you can see that we're fairly clear around here. And the few clouds that we do have around this area are pretty thin. You can see right through them. See, not so with these whiter clouds that you see down here in the south. These pack a little bit of rain, as you can see right now. We lift up the blind here, and you can see there's some rain and some heavy stuff, as you can see down here across eastern Texas, Louisiana, and Alabama right now, and scooting up a little tiny bit across, as you can see here in Kentucky. And that's right along with the cold front. Otherwise, that cold front's moving through pretty doggone dry. Tomorrow, the story changes. As that cold air line gets down here, it runs into, down the south here, it runs into some nice warm, moist air, which overruns it, comes up way up high like that, and changes into nice raindrops back down again. So you can see rain all along the southeast here, running clear down into northern Mexico. And the only snow that we see is in the northern part, I see over there, northern part of Arizona, up in the higher elevations there. Okay. Sunshine for us, nice high pressure, and the only place we have flurries tomorrow is up there across the Great Lakes as the cold air runs across all that moist air rising up from the Great Lakes. The next day, which is Friday, we have that cold air line dropping a little farther down south here, triggering some showers, and the big snow up here in the Four Corner states. High pressure sitting just east of us there will be pulling in a little warmer air, and it's not going to be there long enough to do any good for us, though. It'll warm up a little bit. Let's talk about our regional forecast now for the two Virginias, starting out with the rest of the night. Just plain old partly cloudy skies, we'll call it. There are a few thin ones up there, token clouds. Low expected 25 to 30 for most of us, but in some of the colder areas, you'll see it drop down to 15 to 20 degrees. Not enough wind there to move it around and keep it warm. All right, tomorrow, Thursday, mostly sunny skies. Some areas will have just partly cloudy skies, but the high getting up there to near 40 degrees. Light winds again, folks. Then tomorrow night, back to partly cloudy again with a low expected 20 to 25 for most of us, 15 to 20 in the colder areas. Now for that extended outlook, we jump over to Friday. Friday, increasing cloudiness, jumping up to a big fat 38 degrees, overnight low 20, which is, you know, that's about like we're going to have again. All right. Saturday, a chance of rain, maybe starting out early as snow when it's cold and warming up to 50 degrees. You know it's going to change over to rain then. Sunday, a chance of rain again, too warm for snow, 50 for a high again. So that is the weekend forecast. Now those weekend forecasts, as you know, they're that far away we don't guarantee that. When we estimate what's going to happen tomorrow. We're about 85% correct on that, though.
Well, I'm sure I'm going
Weather.
to be 100% correct in saying a lot of people are going to have colds after the dramatic changes in weather, in the temperatures.
There was only 100% correct forecast, and that was when the Lord told Noah that it was going to rain 40 days and 40 nights.
I guess you're right.
That was a good one.
Thanks, Dan. Coming up next in sports, we'll check the final college football poll and update the top 25 hoop action. Plus, the top-ranked Logan Wildcats put #1 on the line tonight against Bluefield. Woody?
You know, the Beavers are looking for their 4th win of the season. Logan tries to make it 7 of 8 this year. The highlights up next in sports.
How much would you pay for a McDonald's hamburger?
About $2.
Like $1.25.
McDonald's announces a big change.
Is that right, starting now?
From now on, you can get our juicy original hamburger for just 59 cents.
Wow.
Or a delicious sausage biscuit for breakfast for just 79 cents.
Somebody's pulling my leg.
McDonald's regular hamburger now just 59 cents. McDonald's sausage biscuit now just 79 cents.
Not bad.
Any time of the day, you'll love the change at McDonald's.
Excellent.
You've worked hard all your life, waiting to retire and be free to do all the things you want. But when that day comes, will you be able to afford that freedom? You can if you take care of it now with a tax-sheltered IRA from the Flat Top National Bank of Bluefield. Call Chris Eller at Flat Top today. She'll show you how to build up your nest egg, have the cash when you have the time to enjoy it. Flat Top National Bank.
Oops, caught with his pants down.
Listen to just a little bit of it and you'll see what this man has put me through.
On the next People's Court, when he denies doing her dirty,
I'm not a fighter. I certainly wouldn't start with someone's mother.
Mom produces a tape.
Tell me something, Mrs. Perry. Do you really think it's worth all of this? Do you really think that it's worth not knowing whether I'm a crazy person or not?
Don't miss the next People's Court.
Tomorrow at 5:30 on WVVA Television 6.
It's Chevrolet Geo winter time where everyone can win with a best-selling line of cars. You can win with cash back and no payments for 90 days. And Lumina, Caprice, APV. Miss, ever buy a new car before?
No.
Winner! You can win with a first-time buyer bonus on Cavalier, Beretta, or Corsica.
Ask me another one.
Hey, buddy, what you doing up there?
I'm practicing the chill out in Hawaii.
Register by January 3rd to win one of 2 trips to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. See your local United Chevy dealer for details.
And I hear through the grapevine that it was a pretty tough game over at Bluefield tonight.
That's exactly right. The top-ranked team in the state came to town. Bluefield looking to knock them off and almost got the job done. The Bluefield Beavers are ranked 3rd in southern West Virginia, but nowhere near the top 10 in the state. Tonight, though, they welcome Logan to town, the #1 team in the state. It was an opportunity for Beaver to prove something. Let's go to the highlights now from the Bluefield Gymnasium. Picking up the action, Coach Jennings Boyd. His Beavers, of course, looking for victory, and they gave it all they had. This is number 32, Lewis McGee tips it back in. The Beavers hanging close 19-18 after 1. Second quarter, now Logan on the move. Watch the pass to number 12, Jeff Miller, goes behind the back for the pretty 2. McGee brought the Beavers back as he bangs home a 3-pointer off the glass. He led Bluefield with 24 points tonight. It's a 42-42 game at halftime. In the third, Bluefield's Jermaine Pym will pull down the rebound and put it back up for the deuce, and the Beavers have a 63-62 lead after 3. But Miller fired in. 32 points tonight for Logan, and the Wildcats escape with an 88-81 victory over the Bluefield Beavers as they win their 7th of 8 contests.
Important to us as a team to play well, and for the most part, I thought we did play a good, solid basketball game.
Also tonight on the scoreboard, Brian Woolsey had 27 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists as Pineville goes to 6-0 with a 76-44 victory over Independence. It was Liberty 71-60 over Shady Spring. Sharples an 85-66 winner over Clear Fork tonight, and it was Webster County 67, Fayetteville but 54. It was Valley 79-73 over Midland Trail, and Nicholas County beats Braxton County tonight 69-54. Yeager 64, Oceana has 52, and as we check it out here, no report on the Bailey's Murfreesville-Gilbert ball game. Pocahontas falls to Athens tonight. Scotty Dawson had 33 points for Pocahontas, but 6 players in double figures for Athens gets Athens the 82-70 victory. Joey Keatley with 22 points for Athens. Also tonight, Matoka 79-50. Robert Mone and Eric Rye both had 15 points tonight as Matoka goes to 3-3. And finally on the scoreboard now is bringing you up to date. It was Bland 54 and Fort Chiswell 44. Also you're seeing on the scoreboard Richwood, a 91-74 winner over, as we see, Pocahontas County. Now let's take you to Bloomington, Indiana tonight. The Indiana Hoosiers in the white battling Illinois. Too many mistakes tonight for the Illini. Here is the nice deal by Indiana, the fast break, and Meeks drops it in the layup. Illinois head coach Lou Henson does not like what's happening to his team by the 5th-ranked team in the nation, and Illinois playing like an underdog, looking, can't find anybody to pass it to, so they just throw it away right into the hand of Damon Bailey as he takes it all the way coast to coast for the layup. Tonight, Indiana beats Illinois big, 109-74. On the top 25 scoreboard now, bring you up to date on the other ball games going on across the nation. Arkansas 86-62 over Rice. It was Syracuse 92, St. John's 86 in a battle of the top 10 teams. Also tonight on the top 25, Duke 109, Boston University just 55. It was Pittsburgh 70-69 over Villanova. This ball game can be updated. It's 80-74 Pittsburgh over Villanova. Also tonight, as you see, LSU a victory over Vanderbilt. Connecticut a victory over Boston College 96-70. Another top 25 scores for you. Georgetown a winner tonight. Kentucky barely beats Georgia 81-80. And a couple of other scores now as we check the top 25. Virginia comes back to beat Marquette 94-88. Nebraska 70-63 over Wisconsin Green Bay. And a couple of more ball games to round it out for you on the top 25. South Carolina a winner, also Georgia Tech a winner over Howard University. Well, the Colorado Buffaloes have finally done it with college football's national championship officially. That word came today in the final voting of the Associated Press Top 25. The Buffaloes went into the Orange Bowl against Notre Dame, the #1 team in the land. They left with a 10-9 victory, and since they hadn't lost, Bill McCartney felt like the Buffaloes were #1. The voters felt the same. All but 21 voted Colorado numero uno.
We feel good about the fact that the Associated Press emphatically selected us. The MacArthur Committee selected us as a national champion. USA Today selected us as well as CNN. So it looks like we're going to get the majority of the votes.
The majority of the votes go to Colorado, #1 in the land here for the 1990 college football season.
And what do they call Lou Henson's hairstyle?
Flat?
Close. The Lou do. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I thought I'd teach you a thing or two about sports.
Thank you very
And
much.
still to come, who says it can't snow in the tropical Philippines? We'll take a look right after this.
All students of higher learning.
Yes, sir.
We salute your quest for knowledge.
What?
Your pursuit of wisdom.
Ooh, that's a newsflash.
And your appetite for the social graces. But above all,
Go with the flow, honey.
get understanding.
Here's $1. Go buy a clue.
That's easy for you to say.
Oh.
All this and more on A Different World.
The man.
And dog. For years, this man thought if he just tried hard enough, he could teach himself to read. Where do you go when you can't do it alone? He's getting help in a literacy program for adults. They got help from the United Way. All because the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
Undeniable and Strange Events is the most significant event of the 20th century.
Unclaimed millions in fortunes.
More than $15 billion.
Unexplained mysterious deaths.
It just doesn't make sense.
Uncaptured criminals on the run.
These are high-priority cases.
All with one thing in common. They're unsolved mysteries.
For every mystery, there is someone, somewhere, who knows the truth.
You can help solve an unsolved mystery.
Cliff, I read an article about teenage boys in football.
I am not going to put pressure on the boy.
All this week I've been going to football tryouts. And today I found out I made the team.
My prayers have been answered. Here we go. Bye-bye. Quits. He's dead.
Tomorrow at 4 on WVVA Television 6.
You know times are tough when Stan can't bring us snow and an entrepreneur can to the Philippines. A Taiwanese entrepreneur has taken winter to the Philippines, capital of Manila, to people who've never seen snow before. Jeff Seuss calls it Winter Wonderland, all artificial snow created by a machine, letting kids and adults ride sleds for the first time and also see exciting things like snowdrifts and icicles. And I don't know how exciting that is, but I guess if you've never seen it before, it's pretty thrilling.
That's right. Snowball fighting and all that.
Thanks for the agreement, you guys. That's all the time we have tonight. From all of us here, have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
County are headed to federal prison.
Wyoming and Raleigh County State Senator has resigned.
And nearly 150 area reservists have been called to active duty.
Stay with us.
News Center 6 is coming up next.
PA Television. Now, live from WVVA, Bill Huffman, Sherry Haig, Stan Sweet's weather, and Woody Morgan with sports. This is News Center 6 at 6.
Good evening. 3 crack cocaine dealers in Raleigh County are on their way to federal prison tonight.
Loretta authorities say with their sentencing, they put a stop to a direct line of drug traffic from New York to Beckley. Each of the men pleaded guilty earlier to conspiracy to distribute crack. 2 of them, Robert Harmon and James Alloway, both 21-year-old New Yorkers, were arrested in a raid at a Beckley home of 33-year-old Norval Lee Woodson. Authorities confiscated drugs and automatic weapons in the raid. A 4th suspect, however, escaped through the back door.
A couple of the defendants and other people in the area have identified an individual known only as Mo, who was from New York and who got away with a significant portion of the crack cocaine.
And the investigation is still continuing on him?
Yes, it is.
How do you feel about your sentence?
Harmon was sentenced to spend more than 9 years in prison. Alloway received 8 years and Woodson 7. Fisher says there's been a steady increase of crack traffic in the Beckley area recently.
Former West Virginia Associate Treasurer Arnold Margolin was supposed to report to prison today, but he's been given another week of freedom while his lawyer appeals his prison sentence. Margolin's lawyer says his client has suffered enough and should be sentenced to probation instead of a year in federal prison. Margolin was sentenced December 14th after he admitted to giving false financial statements to local government investors.
The woman who took West Virginia's 9th District by surprise 2 years ago has done it again. Senator Juliette Rundle today announced her resignation from office, effective immediately. Rundle unseated Democrat incumbent Bruce Williams in 1988 and was only halfway through her 4-year term. It's now up to Governor Caperton to pick a replacement from a group nominated by the 9th District Democrat Committee. Rundle said the demands of her law practice were such that she couldn't handle both jobs. Rundle was one of only 7 women members in the West Virginia Senate.
137 Southern West Virginians are officially part of Operation Desert Shield tonight. The 304th Military Police Unit based in Bluefield reported for active duty today. Unit members will have until Saturday to prepare themselves and their equipment. Then it's off to Fort A.P. Hill in Virginia for desert warfare training. Today's group is the second from the MP unit. On December 6th, 13 members headed off to an Army base in Pennsylvania. Saturday, the unit will receive a departure address from Major General James Baylor.
Retired miners and getting pension checks but can't count on their UMW health cards if they get sick. UMW brass were in Wyoming County today trying to straighten out the confusion hundreds of miners are dealing with when it comes to their benefits. News Center 6's Joe Kreitz has more.
More than 100 anxious retired miners or their widows listened intently as UMW heavyweights spent time answering questions about the health and retirement funds. Last year, the pension fund had a surplus of $237 million, while the benefits plan, which takes care of medical bills for retirees and their dependents, was more than $114 million in the red. UMW International Vice President Cecil Roberts eased concerns about miners losing pensions, saying those checks will not be cut short. Now, as for drawing on the surplus in the pension to pay for the health benefits, Roberts says this is illegal. But reallocating the money before it gets into the pension fund is legal.
We're
we're reluctant to agree to reallocations because some of the concerns that was raised here previously. This is money that had been allocated to flow into the 1974 pension plan, for instance. It would now be flowing into the benefit plans. And we feel that it would be more appropriate for that money to continue flowing into the 74 pension plan so we can protect, to the extent we can, the 74 pension plan also.
Roberts says the cure to the Ailing Benefits Fund lies with coal companies who should pay more into it, a battle that's still going on, but one that's doing very little for the men and women who hold these UMWA health cards right now. In Wyoming County, Joe Kreitz, News Center 6.
Mining in Virginia claimed 5 lives this year, 4 fewer than last year. A spokesman for Virginia's Department of Mines, Minerals, and Energy says the low number is a reflection of the emphasis being placed on mine safety. 3 of the deaths occurred in Buchanan County. The others happened in Tazewell and Wise counties. In West Virginia, 12 people were killed in coal mining accidents last year, up 3 from 1989.
Still to come, the wait for funding continues at Monroe County's Andrew S. Rowan home.
And tougher laws in Bluefield concerning billboards.
The county have reached a dead end in their search for a missing Lowell man. 34-year-old Thomas Lee Barker disappeared from Hinton 5 days ago and hasn't been seen or heard from since. The search is underway, but as News Center 6's Betsy Thompson explains, the weather is playing a big part in slowing the effort.
He became ill, and for an hour here, he didn't know where he was or who he was, and I took him down to the car. I was going to take him to get help.
Jessica Barker recalling the last time she saw her ex-husband, 34-year-old Thomas Lee Barker, before he disappeared without a trace outside her apartment in the Bell Point section of Hinton.
When I went back downstairs, he was gone. And I went out and looked for him and didn't see him anywhere.
That was 5 days ago, and efforts to locate him since have been fruitless and frustrating.
We've traced out every possible lead that we can come up with, friends, old habitat, one thing or another, and we've just drawn a complete blank and have no idea where he is.
After leaving his ex-wife, Barker was seen 3 more times within a half-hour period, each time by a city police officer. The first time he was headed away from the dam, the second time toward it. The last time was here by this school just a few blocks away. That was around midnight, December 29th.
I'm just afraid he might have gone back towards the river, and he had on slick boots that night, and there were patches of ice and snow around. I'm afraid he might have fallen in.
So far, officials have been limited to foot searches on the ground. High waters have prevented them from dragging the river. And until the river recedes, officials can only wait for further clues to turn up. So far, there haven't been many.
We just don't know where he is, have no idea. He may be in the hill here somewhere, he may be in the river, we just don't have any idea.
In Hinton, Betsy Thompson, News Center 6.
Once again, the state has extended its deadline for payment on Monroe County's Andrew S. Rowan home. The December 31st deadline has been pushed back for at least 60 days to give the Monroe County Commission time to get approval for a guarantee on a $1 million bank loan. A state spokesperson says the state is willing to do almost anything to help the commission purchase the hospital. The county commission offered to buy the Rowan home last year after Governor Caperton put it and 2 other southern West Virginia hospitals up for sale.
Now that the Christmas shopping season is over, at least 3 businesses may be moving out of the Mercer Mall in Bluefield because of economics. One store, Brass and Glass, shut down this week, and Stateside Imports started a going out of business sale before Christmas. Officials say they had hoped to renegotiate their lease to keep the rent from rising again, but had no luck with mall management.
There isn't much effort to lower. It's either to stay or increase. It's very difficult to maintain your overhead and be able to survive. That's what's happening to us.
The Mercer Mall is not willing to help other independents in the shopping center to keep them here when times are tough. It's whether if you pay, if you don't, get out. And they'll get somebody here that's stronger, more willing to pay, such as your bigger chain stores. And they just need to reorganize and help us out to keep businesses here in the area.
S. Scott is considering moving to Jefferson Street in Bluefield if its rent goes up again. Mall officials say the mall has seen steady sales increases over the last 5 years. They expect a major boost from the K&W cafeteria now under construction.
A new law is going to keep Bluefield, West Virginia's landscape from becoming a sea of oversized billboards. The city has approved the most restrictive billboard law in its history. The new legislation reduces the size signs can be by half.
They're not as obnoxious to some people. They're smaller. They're further apart. So we're not anti-business. They do serve a purpose, but we don't want them to get out of hand.
The new law also requires at least 300 feet between billboards as opposed to the old requirement of 100 feet.
The months ahead will be bone-chilling for hundreds of thousands of Virginians. A federal program run by the Commonwealth to help the poor pay fuel bills has run out of money, leaving 98,000 families out in the cold. State officials blame increased oil prices and a weakening economy for the shortfall. The program, originally expected to last another 2 months, will be out of money tomorrow.
After a lengthy battle with ovarian cancer, the wife of West Virginia great Chuck Yeager has died. 66-year-old Glamorous Glennis Yeager died December 22nd at an Air Force hospital in California. You might recall that the plane Chuck Yeager used to break the sound barrier with was named Glamorous Glennis in honor of his wife. The plane now hangs in Washington, D.C.'s Air and Space Museum. Mrs. Yeager is survived by Chuck, 2 sons, 2 daughters, and 13 grandchildren.
And coming up next, Stan's here with the weather.
And some bad news about what's in store for all of us this weekend. Stan?
Well, if we're lucky, the sun will sneak around and peek out around the clouds tomorrow, but don't expect it to stay over the weekend. Weather's next.
And Stan Suede is here with the weather. And I'm calling you Suede because you've got a suede jacket
It's
on today.
ultra suede, yeah, how's that?
Oh, yes. Very nice.
So call me Stan Ultra Suede.
Got to be on the leading edge of fashion, that's for sure.
All right, folks, let's jump in there.
And yesterday it was automobiles, I remember.
Yeah, I've been out working under my car. All right, folks, let's jump in there and see what's going on in the weather department today as we look at the almanac. 35 degrees, that's the best we could do today. It's a little on the cool side today, folks. The coolest, though, 29 degrees. Record over on the right, 66 and a -5. Those all set in January 3rd, one of them in 1951 and another one in 1979. Sunrise tomorrow, 7:39 in the morning. And sunset, these are official times, 5:20 p.m. Now let me wander into this thing here. I want you to see something here. You see where this is chewed up here? Now I didn't chew that thing up. Some beavers in little competition here, see, for the dam here. And there, the Bluestone Dam, and so that's what that is. It's beavers working there. Pretty soon that'll drop down there and it'll block off the water some more. Let's see what's happening right now. 28 degrees, and boy, that's what's happening right now. You can't see anything. 100% relative humidity, that means fog, you know, and it's right here. 30, 31 is the barometer, and steady. The winds from the west-northwest at 4 miles an hour. No rain the last 24 hours. Let's scoop through here and where is all that sunshine we were predicting for today? That's what they say. Well, I'll show you where that was in a little while. In just a little while, I'll show you what happened on that. The little crystals, ice crystals, fell around Charleston the last couple of hours. Kind of crazy. Here are the temperatures. 31 degrees. This is in the Pineville-Mullins area. 35 in Welch. And the same thing in Richlands. Up 1 degree there in Bland. And 32 in Hinton, right at freezing. 30 in the Lewisburg, or Fairleigh, or Ronceverte, White Sulphur area. And the coldest, 26 degrees. That's in... Well, it's on Droop Mountain, about 3,000 feet there, see? 26, that's the cold. And the warmest over in Roanoke, you can have it in Roanoke. All right, here we go. We jump to the satellite picture. Now, here's the reason, folks. This doggone jet stream, see, was supposed to flatten out and move on down and string across northern Florida today. Well, the National Weather Service computer model says that's what it was going to do. Well, I don't know. Well, they might have had a glitch in it or something, but the jet stream refused to move and it stayed just about where it was last night at this time. Well, last night at about 11 o'clock, it was sitting just east of us, and that's where it is today. When it stays there for a long time, it starts triggering showers and that sort of thing. Oh, if it doesn't move very fast. High pressure was supposed to build in and clear it out, but it didn't. Let's look under it and see what it's doing. See there, it's triggering showers, not big super heavy ones like we see down here just south of Alabama or down across Florida, but still some shower activity that would not have been there if it had run through real fast. You know how that works. Okay, tomorrow, the National Weather Service computer model says it's going to be moving down again. Now, they're pretty smart computers, but things happen to the jet stream once in a while. It will be moving down. High pressure will be building in there, trying to clear a little path for us. Now, also tomorrow, look back here across the southern plains and the southern Rockies. We have SNOW, snow. It's a dirty word. And then we have ice, little ice pellets and that sort of thing. And then down below that, some drizzle, see? So it's all in this particular area if you've got people who are traveling and all that sort of thing. Up here, let's watch and see what happens to this little cold air line. That drops down on Saturday right across the Great Lakes and running on southwest on down into northern Mexico. In front of it now, this is not behind it this time, this is in front of it. We have snow, ice, rain, and the rain will sneak in, as you can see, in southern West Virginia and southwestern Virginia, our area, but just north of us is the ice line. Now, when we're predicting weather like that, it's a little tricky, see, because anything can move 100 miles or another, so we got to leave a little leeway in there. So let's say we don't think the ice is going down as far as we are. Snow up across the Great Lakes and all that area. High pressure scooting out of the way there so that all this can happen. It's going to smash on down and join that other cold front like it should have a long time ago. All right, let's talk about our regional forecast now for the two Virginias, starting out with the rest of the night. Mostly cloudy skies with a low expected right around 20, and that's including the Greenbrier Valley and all the other areas. It'll hit somewhere around 20 with light winds. When the winds don't blow much, why, it has a little better chance of dropping, but even though we have cloud. Tomorrow, Friday, partly sunny skies. We might see a little sunshine there. High expected, not very high, 35 to 40. That's below normal, too. Light winds again. How about tomorrow night? Mostly cloudy again with a low expected 24 to 28 degrees. Let's jump into the extended outlook now. Move over one place over to Saturday. Cloudy with a 50-50, which is a good chance for rain, folks. 43 for the high, overnight low 33. So we're not expecting snow out of that. Sunday and Monday, a continuing chance of rain each day, folks. 50s for the high, overnight lows. Oh, they're up there a little bit. Doesn't sound like bright sunny skies over the weekend, but the temperatures, folks, they don't sound too bad.
No, not bad at all.
No, not the bone-chilling type anyway that you would expect as we keep talking about this time of year.
For this time of the year, it should be real cold.
Yeah, ought to be. Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Up next in sports, the Mountaineers, the Herd, and the Hokies are all back to action tonight.
Plus, the Logan talking about basketball. Woody says, I can't play basketball. Well, based on that commercial that we see
That's right.
Over and over again?
Over and over again, you have no room to talk.
And
That's right. That's the reason I stayed in school.
Maybe we should all go back to school. I wonder.
Well, no one would have had you on their pro team, college team, or high school team. We are talking about college tonight, and they're ready to get back to business.
That's right. Those that can't do, report. Yes, folks, tonight in Morgantown, the Mountaineers return to play in the only house they have been able to win in, the Coliseum. The Ears are 3-3, but they are winless on the road. In the most recent road loss, the Ears led UNC Charlotte all but the final 6 minutes of the ball game, played at South Carolina. Tonight at St. Bonaventure, they're in town. The Mountaineers are 11-1 in games played at the Coliseum when they're playing the good folks from, as you see, Old Dominion. I should say, no, St. Bonaventure. I don't want to say that right. They're on a 15-game win streak at the Coliseum also. But tonight in Huntington, when the Marshall Thundering Herd welcomes the Virginia Tech Hokies to Cam Henderson Center, both teams are coming off disappointing tournament performances. Marshall beat Texas A&M in the consolation game of the Hoosier Classic after losing to Indiana in the first ball game. Virginia Tech lost to James Madison in the finals of the Richmond Times-Dispatch Tournament. Those ball games set for a 7:30 start tonight. Now, the Graham-Tazewell game, whether it's football or baseball or basketball, is never just another game. It's a rivalry that also carries a Southwest District victory as added incentive. Friday night at Graham Middle School, the Bulldogs and the G-Men hook up for their first time this season on the hard courts. Mark Brown has a report.
After beginning the year at 0-5, Graham is now on a bit of a roll. The G-Men began 1991 on a 2-game winning streak.
Well, I think our kids early didn't play very good team ball. And what they've done is they've decided that they're going to look for each other just a little bit more than what they have been. Of course,
they got a good ball club. You know, record doesn't indicate any type of team that they are. They got good shooters. They hustle well. You know, they're pretty quick.
The Bulldogs have gone 3-3 in the early season with a schedule just as tough as Graham's. And now that district play has begun, this is a critical game and a critical stretch for both teams.
We play, right now we got Graham this Friday, and next Friday we have Richlands. And that's two big district games. And what can I say, you know, you want to do well in your district, and the next two games is going to tell probably just how well we're going to do.
Oh, shoot, you know it. It's good if you can get that first game under your belt because it gives you confidence. And I think we're going against one of the better teams in our district. They've won some games, and they know what it's like to win, and they know what it's like to lose. So I look for it to be a good ball game.
They'll tip this game off tomorrow night at 7:30 at the Graham Middle School. In Bluefield, Mark Brown, News Center 6 Sports.
Well, folks, Jennings Boyd thinks his team can play with anybody in West Virginia. He found out last night when the Logan Wildcats came to town. But it was the top-ranked team in the state that came away with a 7-point victory, one that was very much in doubt until the fourth quarter when Logan beat Bluefield 88-81. Logan head coach Vic Herbert commended the Beavers, calling Bluefield one of the toughest teams they've faced this year. And being #1 means everybody shows up every night.
It's nice to be #1, but I'd rather be there at the end instead of in the middle and at the beginning. Hopefully later on this year we can keep that position and go from there. But we got 5 in a row at home now, and if we can come out and win 4 out of 5 of those, or maybe all of them, we should be in good shape.
Now, Logan will play 4th-ranked Woodrow Wilson on Friday night, while the Beavers will host the Mount View Golden Knights. That ball game will be played at the Bluefield Gymnasium Friday night.
Jennings Boyd ought to be pretty proud of his team.
I think so. Everybody said 20, 25 points. Logan would beat Bluefield last night. As you see, it was only 7.
Yeah. Thanks, Woody. And still to come, it's not only a new year.
It's another year for a Summers County treasure. We'll tell you about it next. Hospital is home to one of the county's oldest residents who just got another year older.
Maggie C. Baker is celebrating her 102nd birthday, and today the folks at the hospital threw her a party. Maggie, a lifelong resident of the county, was born on New Year's Eve, 1888. Married for 60 years, she's the mother of 4 children, 12 grandchildren, and 18 great-grandchildren, and is singing. Singing is still one of her favorite pastimes.
Mouse's door, he hit it so hard he made it roar,
Bad. And not only can Maggie still carry
Television 6. Now, live from WVVA, Loretta Budd, Stan Sweets weather, and Woody Morgan with sports. This is News Center 6 tonight.
Good evening. The next move is up to Iraq. Today, a proposal by President Bush for a meeting between U.S. and Iraqi officials next week. So far, no answer, yes or no, from Iraq, but an Iraqi official says his government is considering the U.S.'s offer to talk. Sandy Gilmore has more on the president's offer that came just in time for the meeting of the 102nd Congress.
The president invited congressional leaders to the White House to brief them and to tell them he was ready to make one last attempt at peace. He proposed that Secretary of State Baker meet with Iraqi Foreign Minister Aziz next week in Geneva. But presidential spokesman Marlin Fitzwater says no deals will be made.
No negotiations, no compromises, no attempts at face-saving, and no rewards for aggression.
And Baker hinted at the message he will have for Aziz.
The dark days, though, of Iraq's cruel occupation are numbered. January 15 looms before us and before Saddam Hussein.
The announcement came as members of the new Congress were sworn in. The plan was to hold off any debate on the Gulf until after the Baker-Aziz meeting. But Senator Tom Harkin insisted on debating now.
It is this senator's belief that the best time to debate the issue of presidential prerogatives under the Constitution are before this country commits itself to war, not afterward.
Senator Harkin lost, and the debate will be put off. Beyond that, President Bush believes he can take action on his own in the Gulf, but most members of Congress believe that he must consult them first. The president could face 2 battlefronts, one overseas and one here on Capitol Hill. Sandy Gilmore, NBC News, the Capitol.
Members of the international community are praising Bush's proposal. UN Secretary General Javier Perez de Cuellar says the move is something positive. At the same time, he says he's working quietly to resolve the crisis before the January 15th deadline for Iraq to pull out of Kuwait. The Pentagon is investigating the deaths of 3 U.S. servicemen in El Salvador. Spokesman Pete Williams says the 3 men were alive when their helicopter was shot down by leftist guerrillas. All 3 men were apparently shot in the head after their helicopter landed. Pentagon officials can't yet confirm who shot the men. Leftist guerrillas admit, though, they shot down the chopper by accident, claiming they didn't know it was a U.S. helicopter. The Pentagon says there is a possibility they were killed by Salvadoran armed forces. Federal authorities are investigating a possible letter bomb mailed to a U.S. attorney in northern West Virginia. William Calabash said a suspicious package was delivered to his office yesterday in the federal courthouse building in Wheeling. The contents of the package have been sent on to a laboratory for study by the FBI, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and the Army.
Federal authorities say they stopped one of the direct lines of crack cocaine traffic from New York City to Beckley with today's sentencing of 3 dealers. 2 of the men, Robert Harmon and James Alloway, were arrested along with 33-year-old Norval Lee Woodson in a raid in Woodson's home. Police say Harmon and Alloway were bringing crack from New York City and selling it in Raleigh County. All 3 pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute the drug, while a 4th suspect got away.
A couple of the defendants and other people in the area have identified an individual known only as Mo, who was from New York and who got away with a significant portion of the crack cocaine.
And the investigation is still continuing on him?
Yes, it is.
How do you feel about your sentence?
No, good.
Harmon was sentenced to 9 years in prison. Alloway will spend 8 and Woodson 7. Police also confiscated automatic weapons in the raid. State Senator Juliet Walker Rundle is stepping down from her West Virginia office to devote more time to practicing law. The 52-year-old who represented Raleigh and Wyoming counties notified Governor Caperton on her resignation today. Rundle won a surprise victory in a 3-way primary battle in 1988 to capture the seat once held by Warren McGraw. Caperton will name a replacement to fill the remaining 2 years of her term. A citizens panel is recommending West Virginia lawmakers get paid more in the areas of both salaries and meals. The Citizen Legislative Compensation Commission says the current $30 a day allowance for meals should be changed to $40 for the 60-day session. The panel also is recommending a 31% pay raise for legislators. The 134 members of the legislature have not had a pay raise since their wages went up in 1985 to $6,500. Still to come, a costly price has more.
More than 100 anxious retired miners or their widows listened intently as UMW heavyweights spent time answering questions about the health and retirement funds. Last year, the pension fund had a surplus of $237 million, while the benefits plan, which takes care of medical bills for retirees and their dependents, was more than $114 million in the red. UMW International Vice President Cecil Roberts eased concerns about miners losing pensions, saying those checks will not be cut short. Now, as for drawing on the surplus in the pension to pay for the health benefits, Roberts says this is illegal. But reallocating the money before it gets into the pension fund is legal.
We're reluctant to agree to reallocations because some of the concerns that was raised here previously. This is money that had been allocated to flow into the 1974 pension plan, for instance. It would now be flowing into the benefit plans. And we feel that it would be more appropriate for that money to continue flowing into the 74 pension plan so we can protect, to the extent we can, the 74 pension plan also.
Roberts says the cure to the ailing benefits fund lies with coal companies who should pay more into it, a battle that's still going on, but one that's doing very little for the men and women who hold these UMWA health cards right now. In Wyoming County, Joe Kreitz, News Center 6.
A $20 million mistake won't increase new health insurance premiums for those covered under the state health insurance system. That, according to Sally Richardson, director of PEIA. But the West Virginia Education Association is calling on PEIA and Governor Caperton to correct the costly mistake. PEIA officials confirm the error wipes out a long-range plan intended to eventually halve premiums. Governor Caperton is expected to ask the state for more money for PEIA when he delivers his State of the State message next Wednesday. Flooding continues to cause major problems for thousands of families in Ohio and Indiana. Officials expect rain-swollen rivers to cause flooding in southern Indiana through early next week.
The sandbags are out and more are coming. The Guard troops had their work cut out for them, trying to hold back this levee with floodwaters almost over the top in several spots.
We have 2 breaks through the levee down here, 2 seepages that are halfway up on the levee from where we sandbagged last night. They were low spots.
To find Hunter.
In Ohio, the Ohio River is crested at 5 feet above flood stage. That's its highest level since 1979. Some streets in Cincinnati were completely underwater today, especially in the city's east end.